Marco's love story. Good morning. I'm packing my bag, cleaning my bed, getting ready because we are leaving Casa Susie, going on to the next place. It's 7 in the morning. I'm already done. This is the earliest I've been. That's because of a group of Italians and French people who invited me over. We had a wonderful night last night, and I'll be joining them today on the Camino. Your eyes too. Today I'm walking with a group. We're laughing and having fun, singing, dancing, everything. So the spirit is good, and that's the most important thing of today. And I'm out of breath, which means I really have to start working out when I'm home. My goodness. So we started at 7 in the morning. I'm at the village I was supposed to be stopping today. I have no idea what time it is, but it feels a bit early to stop, and I still feel good, although I'm a little out of breath because we hiked all the way up this mountain. But I feel my body getting stronger, and I like that feeling. You know, it's funny, I realized that every single person you meet teaches you something new about yourself. For example, I will meet a lot of people here that are going through relationship problems or breakups or divorces, and as you give them advice about those things from your heart, you realize I'm not only talking to them, I'm also talking to myself. It's advice that you should also provide to yourself. And then when you'll be walking for 20 kilometers straight by yourself, you just have that conversation again and again. And it's so nice to reflect on it for days and to give it some thought, or to provide, yeah, a space for it instead of just going on. Get the passes! Guys, the view is beautiful, but the road is tough. So we're on top of the hill and changing from Leon to Galicia. I'm crossing it right now. Hey. Oh, Cebrero it is! There we are! The Albergue is still closed, so we're waiting for it to open. We'll be in 15 minutes. We're hungry. We're eating, listening to music. It was a good day. So, checking in. I've never seen the line so long. Here's my bed. Yeah, it's useless. So, I just had lunch with the group. We are in this very nice village, Cebrero, and this is the view from our albergue. We're staying at the municipal one, which are usually the least comfortable, but I like this one. It's big, but it's fairly new. It's almost 4 in the afternoon, so yeah, I will see. Tonight we will go to church, which will be my first time. Domenico is calling for me now. Hey, you! And I'm really looking forward, actually, to go to church. It will be a new experience for me, and yeah. I'm giving you a tour through this Albergue Municipal, which means this is like the governmental place, usually the cheapest, most basic, but this one is very nice, and the views. Look at this. This is the place where people store their dirty stuff. So for example, over here is a door, there's Luigi, and people store their shoes here. These are mine, and you can hang out your clothes and your sticks, and some people have their bikes here. Then upstairs are the rooms. These are the showers. I cannot film inside because they are fully naked, but maybe a little bit, and you can see. And then here is the lavanderia, where you can wash and dry your clothes. Cool. And then later I'll show you upstairs. Most albergues are decorated in a similar way, so they all have shower areas, they all have washing areas, and they all have shoe areas. And the dormitorios are the places where the beds are located. Usually in bigger spaces, they create like corners with 4 to 6 beds to make it a little bit more private. Same situation in this one. Other albergues only have 20 beds. You would have a room for 2 or 4 people. I prefer that. This one is huge. I will show you the sleeping space. So this is it crowded. There's my bed. And the nice thing is, my dear Anne's here. You guys, I am coming to my bed and look who is across me. And you can see everyone is hanging their stuff. Usually you keep the outer poles for your jacket and some bigger stuff, and the bags are all located next to the beds. So this is a dormitorio. There's my dear friend Eloise from France. And yeah, you see, there's a lot of people sleeping here. This is where I sleep. I call this 5-star luxury. Yeah, you get used to it. Who would have thought? Luigi and I are going to the supermarket, and this is the situation. Hey! Seriously guys, cravings. This is the funniest store ever. First time church! Oh. So, this was my first time going to church, and I actually liked it. It's a very spiritual thing, actually, and I've done a lot of New Age spirituality ceremonies and stuff, but this is different, and it has a stronger sense, actually. But well, talking about God and spirituality is different story, but I enjoyed it, and I think I would love to go in the Netherlands one time because I couldn't understand a thing. But it was beautiful. It was really beautiful, and we got blessed for being a pilgrim. Yes. Good morning from the bunk bed. People are waking up. It's 7:05. I was awake around 6 because everyone kept leaving and slamming the door, and it's creaking, and now I'm complaining because I think it's early. But the Italians are taking me with them today. I'm being adopted, I think. Good news. The blister we once had is no longer here. Bye-bye. So all the beds are covered in plastic, and you will sleep on this thin sheet, and you throw it out like everyone's doing. And then this is what I'll be wearing: rain pants, shouldn't forget that, sticks, bag, and outside is the worst. Look at the inside, how wet this is. This is because people sleep with the doors closed, and there are 105 people in this room. Outside, this is the forecast, and I just asked Anne what she's forecasting for today, and she said terrible weather. Wow, I don't think we will be walking very far today because our clothes are already soaking and it has been just over 15 minutes, I think. So
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah. This is literally the worst feeling ever. Putting on your wet clothes, going from this warm place to outside. I want to stop walking, so I'll be stopping in the next village. I'm done singing songs. Nice. I'm here, completely wet. Checking in. So I'm the first one to arrive. I guess most people are walking a bit further today, but the weather is so bad. Look, I'm making stripes on the floor because my feet are soaked. And I am choosing the furthest bed there is. Again, next to a window, because I like that. And this is, I think, a quiet corner because most people will be sleeping over there. The room is quite big actually. Here are the bathrooms. Quite nice. Small, but marble tiles. Okay, luxury. I'm getting wet. I'm soaking. I don't like rain. So I just watched the time and it's only 11:11, which is very early. This is the restaurant that's going with the Albergue. Looks very nice. There's someone I know here. Not this guy. And all my clothes are wet, which means I don't have anything dry to wear. So this is soaked, but well, part of the Camino experience. Whew. One day. I've been contemplating a little bit. The past 2 days I've spent with a group, so not by myself, and I really noticed that I wanted some me time. Right now I feel that in the group we've discussed a lot of things, varying from work to relationships to the deeper meaning of life. I guess I'm just kind of introverted. I charge my batteries when I'm alone, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time in these larger albergues. The thing is, in most locations I don't really have another option than to stay in a place like this, or I will definitely walk by myself. And I'm actually going to take a detour to Samos because I thought that would be nice. I have a lot of time and it allows me to walk in shorter stages, and I'll be staying in the monastery over there. It will be my first. It's a very Christian place. Well, yesterday I was at church, so I might as well try this. I think it would be very nice actually to experience a thing like this, because this is a very Christian pilgrim route. I mean, I met a lot of Christians on the way, and I'm open to discover more about the Christian beliefs, so I think it's nice. Next to that, I feel all these emotions coming up, so I'm very much looking forward to head out in the morning tomorrow so I can contemplate for a little and just reflect on some things I've been having thoughts about. Really need to spend some more time alone, which actually I'm surprised about, but it's just because the albergues are so full. I mean, last night we were with over 80 people in one room, so it's very hard to avoid people. Actually, at some point I was in the bathroom just sitting there on my phone, writing my diary, and yeah, it makes me a little shaky, and I'm a bit tense because of it. So I can book some private rooms, although on the road I'm currently at, there are no private rooms nearby. And in this albergue, they are very expensive. It can be up to 80 euros for a night. I really don't mind to spend a lot of money, but I also feel this is part of my process. This is part of my Camino. This is also part of being a pilgrim. So I would like to be able to surrender to it, and I'm trying my best. So we'll see. Camino. I decided to walk alone today. I really wanted some me time. For breakfast, listen to the music. There is a choice again. I can walk through Samos or Sanxil. In total, this one is 20 kilometers and the other one almost 13. And I'm going to Samos.
Even when I'm losing my mind, I know that good things take time. If you ask me that I'm alright, I'm covering my shit with more lies.
Did I just set up my phone with a water bottle to film that shot? Maybe.
¿De dónde?
De Holanda.
Holandesa.
Sí, yo soy holandesa. Go, ciao, ciao. Whoa. I just asked this guy if I could take a picture of him because he had this look in his eyes. We're sitting there with the cat and something just made me ask it, and I rarely do that, very rarely. And he said, yes, it's all right. And then he started talking to me. He's 101 years old. Little encounter. Beautiful. This is Greg.
Hey.
We've been walking for the past 5 kilometers and we just arrived in Samos. Look at this. It's beautiful. I do like this and then you guys. Such a pretty place. I can't believe we're staying here. Something. Okay, so this is Greg, you guys. And there's an update on the May and Marco love story. And they have met. I love this. So guys, I just came back from lunch. A very long lunch with a lot of wine. So I'm a little, well, not tipsy, but on the edge. I'm staying in the monastery today, which is basically a chapel where it's freezing. The building itself is very nice, so I do like that. And there is a church next to it because it's the monastery. Tonight there is a mass with a pilgrim blessing, so I'll be going to church again. I'm heading in because this big door will be closed and then we will be locked up here until 7 in the morning, which is a strange feeling but very normal here. Good night. I'm walking through nature today again and I suddenly thought sometimes it looks like a theme park. And I feel so superficial for that thought, but it's like, look, it is so pretty, it's almost staged. Of course, that's nature, it's in balance, it's in harmony. But I just realized how much I'm missing. I actually usually look at decorated things. And pretty things are man-made, but it's even more beautiful, obviously, when it's natural, when it's just nature, and it's just earth. And I just come to the realization that what I perceive as beautiful is usually decorated. So that's a thought I had this morning. Yeah, and it's, wow, I'm in Galicia already for a couple days. The nature here is completely different and I absolutely love it. It's very green, a lot of rivers, forests, mountains, everything. Beautiful. I'm really enjoying myself. So this place on the road, it says there are natural juices and sandwiches and stuff, so let's check it out. Just had a drink and I noticed this sign. Right now I'm here and I'm planning to head over to Barbadillo, which is located here. And this is nice because I can see, okay, this is 4 kilometers, 15 minutes, and then from Sarria to Barbadillo, 1 hour, 5 minutes. So around 2 hours of walking and I'll be there. I just had a break, so I think I'll be able to do that. I'm feeling all right. I'm wearing my brace and it's really working well. So yeah. I've made it to Sarria, and this is a starting point for a lot of people who decide to walk the final part of the Camino, which is just over 100 kilometers, and that's the amount you have to walk to be an official pilgrim. Okay, this is so weird. Listen, there's Beyonce playing, and I finally flip-flops. I've been looking for these for over a week. Succeeded. So this is the room. That's the bed I got. And there's a bathroom over here, which is actually quite luxurious. I'm going to get undressed and dip in the pool. Cries in Spanish. Never mind. No pool, but there is a nice terrace, so I'm going to read a book, relax, and I'm wearing my bikini anyway. So I had a weird day. It was actually the first day I felt like not wanting to connect with other people at all. I was invited over for having drinks this afternoon and I said no, because I really wanted to be by myself, and during dinner I felt the same way. But then they asked again and I thought, well, why not do it? And turns out I had a lovely night. Thanks to Lenny, Lauren, and Kat, and they were so welcoming and so heartwarming. And then turned out that Kat is actually knowing Daniel, the super hiker from Germany, who has arrived in Santiago, and he said hi, which was such a nice coincidence. So we had a good laugh, shared some stories, and it was actually such a special experience to feel my energy shifting from wanting to be alone and feeling sad and, you know, left out in some way, to very warm and embraced. And they did that and I did that, but yeah, we did that. $100 kilometers left, you guys. Love this. So pretty. Looks like Italy. Wow. As you can see, I've arrived in Porto Marín. I wanted to walk 9 kilometers further, but my feet are hurting, my knees hurting, everything's hurting, it's hot. And I'm looking for an albergue to stay. I think that one, because I googled it and I saw it had nice views. So I hope they still have room. Checking. I got a bed assigned. This is mine. It's actually quite nice. So this is what my knee is looking like after a day of walking. I think you can see the difference. Yeah, ouch. Step. Okay, so this is Tarte de la Abuela, and this is amazing. I'm not sure whose abuela thought of this, but that abuela, I mean, amazing. My first souvenir. Souvenir time. Thought it was time to buy something. I like it. Hi. Cheers. I just visited the terrace. Met a nice guy from Spain who's living in Holland. 2 guys from Venice and very nice guy from the US. It's actually nice how many different people you meet. And now I'm heading off to the river. This is such a nice town. I'm happy I'm staying here and yeah, just relax a little. It feels like a holiday. Actually, it is a holiday, but it doesn't feel like a holiday when you're walking. But now it feels like a holiday. Okay, well, this was it. Ciao. Just had to sit here in the park. I really enjoy this town. I love the water, I love the lake. Heading out for dinner now. And then tomorrow, another day of walking. Feel a bit of pressure because Santiago is coming closer. There are a lot of people. So for the first time, I'm planning to leave before 7. Let's see if that will work. We'll see you tomorrow.